Here we go.
Drums are finally here, performing for you. If you know the words, you can join in too.
Alright, hello everybody, welcome back to Watch Mojo Yugoslavia. In today's video we're going to be looking at the top 10 greatest hip-hop albums of all time, beginning with the most modern releases and then going back to the earliest foundational gems of the genre. And if you guys want to be notified when we've released our next video, Top 10 Serbian Ethnic Slurs, make sure to hit the bell, subscribe, share, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, share, and leave a comment. And without further ado, let's hip-hop right into it. Alright, coming in at number 10 on our list is going to be Rebirth by legendary rapper Lil Wayne. This record dropped in 2010, and what can be said about it is that he's going in a more rock-oriented direction, more guitars. This makes sense given that Lil Wayne has said he's a huge fan of the grunge band Nirvana, and you can really hear the spirit of Kurt Cobain all over this record. It's as clear as day. Now this record, of course, Lil Wayne, so you have truly horrendous auto-tune. That just shows he's in tune with modern rock gens. But in addition to that, you actually have a little bit more of a electronic and even emotional style to his vocal delivery, which shows you that he's presaging our modern era of emo cloud rap. Now when we look at the track listing here, we can see some truly classic cuts, but one that really sticks out among the crowd is Drop the World, which features a similarly very talented and totally deserving of their fame rapper Eminem as a guest feature, and it features these profound lyrics. I stole that fucking clock, I took the time, and I came up from behind, and pretty much snuck up and butt-fucked this game up. This is truly an epic lyric, not only because he did take the time, meaning he stole your time in making you listen to this record, but he also snuck up, meaning this was a very unexpected stylistic turn for the artist, and butt-fucked this game up, meaning butt-fucked the game of hip-hop up. The genre has never been the same since this dropped, and in 30 years, art critics will still be commentating on how influential this record has been. Alright, coming in at number 9 is going to be SouljaBoyTellHim.com by Soulja Boy from 2007. Yes, the name of the album is in fact a URL, I'm not making this up. Now this song, Crank That Soulja Boy, everyone already knows that song. Everyone and their mother knows that song. It's part of all of our youths. Everyone knows what a fantastic song it is. Now unfortunately I can't say that anything else on this record can stack up to that song, but you'll still find some very interesting material on here, and by interesting I mean absolute dog shit. But on this channel we try to have some very hot spicy takes, mix things up rather than just using the big records you see. Now this record is considered to be part of the so-called snap genre. It's also similar to the crunk genre that was popular at the time, and Rature Music claims that one of the secondary genres for this record is futuristic swag, which I did not know was a real genre, but now I'm simultaneously glad and depressed that it is in fact a thing. There's the other thing to say about Soulja Boy is that he was definitely a pioneer of being a modern rapper by using the internet and social media to really bring his sound to the mainstream. That's about all you can really say about this record because the rest of it is horseshit, and yeah, that's number 9. Alright guys, coming in at number 8, we had to get some representation for the Caucasian rappers out there, and what better choice than Fred Durst and his band Limp Bizkit with their 1999 release Significant Other. Now I know in this whole rap rock, rap metal genre, there's some other choices we could have went with instead. The obvious one probably would have been Hybrid Theory, the debut from Linkin Park, and truth be told, Hybrid Theory does have a distinct advantage over Significant Other in that it's actually good. However, if you look at it from another perspective, none of the members of Linkin Park have funny red baseball caps, whereas, well, you know how it goes with Limp Bizkit. So putting 2 and 2 together, we decided, weighing all our options, that Limp Bizkit was the way to go. Now, in this album, you've got some hardcore attitude, you've got some new metal guitars, you've got everything you could possibly want out of a mediocre rap metal record from the late 90s. You've also got some classic cuts in the track listing here. You've got the track Nookie, which is one of their hit singles, and in the chorus, Fred Durst declares to the world, I did it all for the Nookie. Come on, the Nookie, come on, so you can take that cookie and stick it up your, yeah, stick it up your, yeah, stick it up your, yeah, stick it up your, and that's just Shakespearean, man, let me tell you. You've also got the track Break Stuff, which could only be described as a true middle school classic. You've got the track Rearranged, where he attempts to be angsty and emotional. I'm not so sure about that one. And you got the track End Together Now, where he somehow managed to get Method Man of Wu-Tang Clan and DJ Premier of Gangstar fame to collaborate. And there's even a track at the end of the record, which is one of those hidden tracks at the end of the CD. And it's just some guy, I don't know who he is, some TV personality dude they got in the recording studio. And it's just a recording of his voice, nothing else. And he's just going on an absolute rampage about how there's no real music anymore. It's all teeny bopper bullshit. The radio sucks nowadays. And we need real music with real meaning to come back, to put some balls back into the industry. And of course, he's talking about what better band than Limp Bizkit. Probably Fred Durst probably has the largest testicles out of any man in the game, so that's a very fitting statement to put at the end of the record. And number 8, it's going to be Limp Bizkit's Significant Other. All right, so coming in at number 7 on our list from 1998, it's going to be DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince's Greatest Hits album. Now, I know using a compilation rather than a studio LP might be kind of a strange choice for a list like this, but there's actually a very good reason for that. You see, most people may not even realize that Will Smith was actually a rapper along with DJ Jazzy Jeff providing the beats in the late 80s going into the early 90s, but he was. And he made some very lighthearted, sort of fun East Coast late 80s type rap songs. And now those are all good, mind you. There's nothing wrong with any of that. But just if we were just using one of the classic records from the late 80s, I don't think they would make it onto this list. What really solidifies this compilation CD is that it includes 2 tracks that forever changed the history of rap music. The first one, everyone knows it. It's the theme song from the sitcom The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. That's one of the first hip-hop songs I ever heard. I still think it's a fun song. And of course, given that my taste in music is the best in the world, it only makes sense that something I heard at a very young age, which influenced my taste in hip-hop in particular, should obviously be prioritized as being among the greatest. Now, even with just the Fresh Prince song, you could make an argument that this belongs in the top 10 rap albums of all time. But I actually have a second trump card that really solidifies its position on this list, and that, of course, is the Men in Black theme song from the movie Men in Black, which Will Smith starred a leading role in. Let's be honest, if it wasn't for that movie and that song, the 21st century rap would look completely different. All modern music really hinges upon the Men in Black theme song, so I don't think I have anything more to say about that. It speaks for itself, and that's coming in at number 7. All right, coming up next, number 6 on our list here from 1995, it's going to be Me Against the World by, of course, the legendary Tupac. He's alive in Serbia. And truth be told, I went with this record because I'm a little bit biased towards the East Coast sound, but I need to have a good mix of West and East Coast for this list to be fair. And of course, the big rivalry is Tupac versus Biggie. Now, I actually do prefer Tupac to Biggie anyways, but also I'm from the Western United States, so you know how these things gotta go. West Coast, best coast, baby. Keeping it real. All right, guys, we finally made it in the top half of the list. We're really excited to get into it. Before we jump into it, we got to remind you guys, if you want to see more awesome content like this, make sure to subscribe, comment, leave a like, hit the bell, subscribe, share, like, maybe even share the video, or even hit the bell if you want. That's fine with me. All right, guys, coming in at number 5, it's going to be from 1991, Low End Theory by A Tribe Called Quest. Now, Tribe Called Quest are one of the quintessential sort of alternative hip-hop groups from the early 90s. They've helped pioneer that so-called conscious rap sound with the jazz influences, and obviously that is the highest form of hip-hop there is. No one denies that. So that by itself should solidify a place for them on this list. This is a very well-known record that you'll regularly see top the hip-hop lists, and it's very important for me to have some famous records in here because most of the previous stuff on this list has been dog shit. And so in order to keep the Pitchfork kiddies happy, I don't want them flaming me in the comments. I got to throw them a bone, you know. But truth be told, it's a pretty good record. It's not a bad record at all. But really what comes to my mind when I put this record on this list is not only that A Tribe Called Quest are very influential in making hip-hop music that lasts the ages, in making some incredible rhymes, having some great flow, the things you want out of a rapper. What really comes to mind about this record is that Q-Tip, who is one of the rappers in this group, you can see him practicing and harnessing his skills on this record and other ones by A Tribe Called Quest in preparation for some 13 years down the line, the apex of his career, when he provided a guest feature rap on an REM song, which really that's what all rappers really aspire to, if we're being honest. So you got to give him some props for making it to the top. And coming in at number 5, it's going to be Low End Theory, A Tribe Called Quest. All right, for number 4, we've got from 1990, so the album that really kicked off and sparked a revolution in that decade for hip hop. We've got MC Hammer's Please Hammer, Don't Hurt Him. No further comment necessary. All right, coming in at number 3 on our list, all the way back from 1988, Straight Outta Compton by NWA. This is the seminal record that put the West Coast on the map and really showed a new path for hip-hop music by moving away from the more, we could say, party-oriented or at least more lighthearted, fun style of the East Coast sound in the early days and moving in a more hardcore gangster rap direction. So this definitely set the path for 90% of hip-hop that's been produced since it came out, by basically being based around singing about how much of a shithead you are. Now, this is still the 80s, however, we should say, so unlike modern gangster rap, you still have some goofy like funk samples and 808 drum machines, so it's not actually like hardcore, it's like fun hardcore, you know what I mean? Now, you have the first 2 tracks that are the most famous. The title track, Straight Outta Compton, is just an epic track with an Amen break sample used underneath it. Those are always good. And you've also got the track Fuck the Police, which is the second one, where the members of NWA deliver a truly erudite and very well-spoken plea for criminal justice reform. I'm not sure what else you can say about the album, and I mean that literally because most people don't really care about the tracks aside from those 2, and I don't really either, so I have nothing else to say. But yeah, Straight Outta Compton, number 3. Alright guys, we're almost at the end of the video now, and coming in at number 2 we have Criminal Minded, the debut release from Boogie Down Productions. This dropped in 1987, so now we're at the very beginning of the so-called golden age of hip-hop, from the mid to late 80s to the mid-90s or the late 90s, depending on who you talk to. Now this late 80s period has a particular sound known as mid-school hip-hop, where the earlier sort of funk and disco samples became weaker and there was a stronger presence of drum machines. You also have, of course, another seminal piece of that era, which is the whole turntable scratching thing. Now from this era, from this classic era, there's some other artists I could have used instead. For instance, I could have done Run DMC or Public Enemy or Beastie Boys, Eric B. and Rakim. There's various choices that are more well known actually than Boogie Down Productions. But the reason I went with Boogie Down Productions, who aren't the first choice that usually comes to mind, is actually for a surprising number of reasons. Now the first thing is that the album cover goes hard as fuck, and the most important thing in hip hop we know is looking cooler than everybody else. So they definitely set the tone for that. The second thing is it actually, with the song South Bronx on this record, it's quite famous. They actually inaugurated what's considered to be the first hip-hop feud, and pointless hip-hop rivalries are one of the most important things in the genre, right? So they definitely set the tone for that. There's another thing is the track Dope Beat on here, which samples AC/DC's Back in Black on the song, and on their second record they actually sampled Smoke on the Water by Deep Purple. So this is an early use of sort of hard rock by white artists in hip-hop, and so we could see that as sort of prefiguring Limp Bizkit and Fred Durst, and what would our universe be like if we didn't have Limp Bizkit, And then another track that really sticks out is 9mm Goes Bang. That's an early gangster rap song, although I don't think the whole gangster rap, raga, Jamaican fusion thing that Boogie Down Productions did on that song managed to quite become a thing. But, well. And then the last thing to be said, and maybe even the most important thing to be said about not only this record, but specifically the rapper KRS-One, is that he's one of the only 2 rappers in the world, along with A Tribe Called Quest Q-Tip, to do a guest feature rap on an REM song. And that just seals the deal. We've been over this. So that's number 2. It's Criminal Minded by Boogie Down Productions, a classic from the genre. And now we're on to the number 1. Alright gang, we finally made it to the end of the list. Topping it all off is going to be from 1982, and it's The Message by the Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five. This is super old school hip hop in its earliest days. It still hasn't quite managed to divorce itself from the kind of disco and funk and electro sound that it grew out of. There's even some soul in here to give you an idea of how eclectic it is by modern rap standards, I suppose. Now, truth be told, this is most well known for its title track that ends the album. The Message is a genuinely, really quite good early hip hop song, and one could say it's one of the earliest, if not the earliest, conscious rap song, since even though it has quite a catchy, dancey feel to it, lyrically it speaks of the difficulties of living in the inner city, the ghetto life, and all the trials that come with it. Now, aside from this one track, most of the rest of the album, actually all of the rest of the album, is not particularly well known, and it's also not particularly interesting, to be honest. So you may be wondering, is he really going to put this album at number one just because it's the oldest? And the obvious answer to that is yes, I will, because that's the reason that half of the boomer shit that gets put at the top of like every other genre's lists is there. You know, do you actually think people are listening to Led Zeppelin and early Beatles and thinking this is high art? No, it's older, so it's better. That's how it works in this industry. You guys need to get with the times. All right, guys, thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe, share the video, maybe subscribe also. You could leave a comment, hit the bell, you could like the video, you could subscribe as well and hit the bell. You can comment as well on the video, and you can also like the video in addition to sharing it and even leaving a comment on the video. And if you like what you heard, make sure to, okay, good, I'm leaving, fuck this shit.